Alright guys, welcome back. This is, once again, the Texas State Theory Test, Level 4. In this video, we're going to go over questions 3 and 4. This should be a fast video. Let's get started. Question 3 says, on the staff below, write the letter name for each note on the line below the staff. Look at the clef sign. If you've done any of the previous theory tests, you should be very familiar with this. If you're at Level 4 and you've been doing this for a couple years, you should know how to name notes. Now, what a lot of students do, what gets a lot of students in trouble, is they will just assume that they know what the notes are, and they don't look at the clef sign. They get something that I like to call clef confusion. They think that this bass clef is really a treble clef, and so they'll answer this as E instead of what it should be as G. Okay? So please, always look at the clef sign. Always look at the clef sign. Alright, so let's talk about the bass clef real quick. Now, on the actual theory test that you take, it may not be bass clef in question 3. They may have treble clef in question 3. And in question 4, where they have a treble clef here, they may have a bass clef. They may have 2 treble clefs in 3 and 4, or they may have 2 bass clefs. Just always look at it. So, let's talk about the bass clef real quick. Remember, the bass clef is also called the F clef because it names line F. This dot is on this line, and that's the F line. Okay? It's called the F clef or the bass clef. Bass means low, or below, and here's middle C. Alright, that's where middle C would be if this was a piece of music. And so the bass clef plays everything from middle C and lower. Alright, so now let's name the lines of the bass clef. The lines of the bass clef, if you remember, are good birds don't fly, there's the F line, away. Or maybe you know it as good burritos don't fall apart. Maybe you know it as George Bush drives fast always. Garfield buys dog food always. You know, something like that. So, whatever sentence you use to remember it, just stick with that sentence and name the notes. This should be a very simple, easy, what is it, 6 points? Is it? Yeah, it's 6 points. Easy 6 points. Now, let's talk about the spaces. The spaces, the ones that I like to use with my students, are all cows eat grass. Very simple. All cows eat grass. Good birds don't fly away. Those are the spaces and the lines. So, now that we know that, let's just answer this really quickly. The first one is on the bottom line. Good birds don't fly away. Good, so that's a G. This one's on the fourth line, so good birds don't fly. There we go. F. This one's on a space. We got to switch the sentence. All cows. There it is. C. This one's on the top line, so switch the sentence again. Good birds don't fly away. A. Space again, switch the sentence. All cows eat. E. And staying on the spaces, all. Now, this is not going to be the exact same notes that you're going to see on your test. You know, they may all be different, but it's going to be the same type of question. You're just going to have to name the notes. They're going to give you a note, you have to name it. Make sure you know your sentences or your little sayings or your little tricks to remembering all the lines and spaces of each of the clefs. Alright, let's move on to question number 4. Question number 4 is all about the treble clef. Alright, remember, the treble clef is also called the G clef. Alright? Because it tells you where the G line is. If we look here, starting where the circle is, it's circling around this line. That's the G line. Treble means high. So the treble clef is going to show you all the notes from middle C, which would be right here if this was a piece of music, and higher. Alright? So I'm going to erase all this because we have to draw some notes. I don't think I read the question to you. Alright, let's read the question real quick. It says, on the staff below, draw the whole note on the correct line or space for the letter named below each measure. Look at the clef sign, please. Alright, so this is like the opposite of number 3. In number 3, they gave you the note, you had to name it. This one, they gave you the name, you have to put the note on the staff. So, let's start. Oh, wait, did we go over our lines and spaces? I don't think we did. So, for the treble clef, we have every, good, there's the G line, boy, does, fine, deserves, fudge, deserves, football. Whatever sentence you want to use, go ahead and use it. Now, for the spaces, this is the only one I've ever heard because I think it's the best. We spell the word face, F-A-C-E. Alright? So, just remember, face. Now, just so you know, don't actually draw all this on your test. They'll deduct like quarters of points for every time you doodle. then this would be considered doodling. So don't draw on the test. Just make sure that you have a scratch piece of paper, which they will give you, and you draw out all the stuff that you need on your scratch piece of paper. Okay, so F. There's two spots I can draw F. I can draw it here, or I can draw it here. The first letter of the word space, or the last word in Every Good Boy Does Fine. Don't draw it in both spots. Just pick a spot and go with it if they give you an F. Alright, D. Every good boy does. Right there. Draw the circle there. A. F. A. Right there. Spell face and then you get A. G. Every good. Right there. B. Every good boy. Right there. C. Spell face. F-A-C. Bam. That's all there is to it. Now, a couple words of warning when you do question number 4. Don't do this. Like if they said C, this is what you don't want to do. You don't want to go, I've seen that on the test. They will count off for that, okay? Also, don't do this. You know, you're kind of in C, but you've got this going below the line. You have to be neat. Neatness counts in life. Neatness will count on this test. If they see that, they may think you mean B, which is right below it. So, be neat. Be neat. When you're drawing a note on a line, make sure that the line goes through the center of the note. And don't draw it mondo big. Don't do this. Okay? Yes, the line is going through the center of the note, but you've taken up all of this space, and you've taken up all of this space. So they really don't know what you mean. Make it nice and small. Oh, okay, I'm going to put a caveat on that. Don't make it too terribly small. Don't do this either. Okay? Just try to make it even. If you want to, do it exactly how it's supposed to be, if you're drawing a note on a line, go to the middle of the space above it, go to the middle of the space below it, and there, draw a circle. If you're drawing a note on a space, let's go back, whoops. Let's go back to, E. E will work. Okay. Notice when they draw an E here, they touch the line above and they touch the line below so that it fills up the entire space. Okay? So, touch the line above, touch the line below, but don't go up into here and don't go down into here when you draw notes on the spaces. Just be neat. Make sure you can read it. If you have a question on its neatness, you can always ask the administrator. The administrator will tell you if they can't read it or not. They've been doing this for years. Okay, that was question 3 and 4 on the 4th grade theory test. I hope this helps. I will be doing questions 5 and 6 in the next test, or in the next video, and I will see you there. Keep practicing.